Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Lord. Duozi Duofu, creating a divine family friend traversed the exotic continent of divine manifestation. I originally wanted to become a strong person and achieve great things. Unfortunately, my qualifications are too poor and I don't have a golden finger yet. I can only go home to inherit my family business, marry and have children. However, after the birth of the first child, the golden finger suddenly awakened. As long as you give birth, you can constantly receive rewards, you have no magical qualification, your fighting spirit qualification is low, and your comprehensive evaluation is black iron level. You will receive 1 year of fighting spirit cultivation. The offspring has a low level of magical ability and a moderate level of fighting spirit, rated as bronze level. You have obtained a 10-year fighting spirit cultivation and a 5-star battle skill. The wind sword skill. The offspring's magical qualification is a deity, their fighting spirit qualification is a deity, and they are rated as diamond level. You have obtained 100,000 years of cultivation, destroyed the divine character, and a divine-level demon pet. 100 giant dragons. In order to become a deity and live forever, Ren had to embark on the path of sowing the world without returning. Several years later, his descendants spread all over the world. He himself also became the king of the gods, majestic in the multiverse. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Commitment Letter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Adhere to originality and eliminate non-compliant commitment letters. I, pen name, XX, guarantee that this signed work belongs to my own original creation, and strictly follow the Feilu Writers' Convention during the creation process. I adhere to originality and eliminate the following violations. If there are any violations, I am willing to bear all consequences arising from this one. Ensure that the signed work belongs to one's own original work and does not involve plagiarism or plot plagiarism in Chinese translation. 2. Ensure that no third-party works or plot are plagiarized during the creative process. 3. Ensure that this work is first published and the only contracted website on Feilu Novel Network. 4. Ensure compliance with laws and regulations during the creative process, including but not limited to, violations such as not involving politics, not involving pornography, gambling, drugs, promoting cults, not ghostwriting, not blocking or abolishing manuscripts, not hosting, not selling works or accounts, etc. 5. Ensure that regardless of the word count of the work, the signed work must complete the plot, never end, and never stop or end. Feilu's novel, Fei wants you to look good. Chapter 1. Starting home and inheriting family business. You are listening at novelfull.audio. My dear son Ryan, how have you been lately? In a blink of an eye, you have also left home and served in the Wild Lion Legion for almost 10 years. A few days ago, your father and brother were on a tour of the fiefdom when they were attacked by Warcraft and unfortunately died. My mother hopes that you can retire and return home as soon as possible to inherit the family's title and fiefdom. Your mother, Evelyn. Looking at the letter in his hand, Ren didn't know what to say for a moment. He never expected such a big change to happen suddenly at home. Father and brother were attacked by Warcraft and all died. My second son, who had never expected to inherit the family business, suddenly became the first heir of the Hobbs family. This really caught him off guard. This holy land of Roland is really dangerous. No one knows which one will come first, whether it's an accident or tomorrow. After a long silence, Ren couldn't help but feel the unpredictability of the world. As for the sadness of hearing the news of the death of my father and brother, there is a bit but not much. After all, he only traveled here half a year ago. The memory of his predecessor is like watching a movie to him. In addition, I have been in the military camp for the past 6 months and have not had any contact with my predecessor's family. He naturally cannot have such a deep affection for that unfamiliar father and brother. Should we go back and inherit the family business? After feeling emotional, Ren began to carefully consider this issue. There are advantages and disadvantages to going back and inheriting family business. If you want to go further on the extraordinary path, it is naturally better to stay in the Wild Lion Legion. After all, the Lion Legion is one of the 3 extraordinary knightly legions of the Duchy of Reims. All the benefits are very good. Regular cultivation is guided by intermediate and advanced warriors. By achieving military achievements, one can also obtain various extraordinary potions to assist in cultivation. There is even a chance to be granted a title and obtain territory. Based on the memory of my predecessor. The father of the predecessor spent 3 years of his territory's income bribing the 1,000-strong leader of the Berserk Lion Legion to allow the predecessor to smoothly enter this legion for service. However, this body's qualifications are really average. Served in the Lion Legion for almost 10 years. Now he is just a low-level knight at level 3. At the current cultivation speed, it will take at least several years to break through the bottleneck of level 4 and become an intermediate knight. As for breaking through level 7 and becoming a senior knight, it is almost impossible. In this situation, it is obvious that he finds it difficult to make a name for himself in the extraordinary army of the brave Lion Legion, which is revered by the strong. During times of war, Xiaoming is always ready to die. From this perspective, going home and inheriting the family business is my best choice. Ren sighed and thought to himself. At the beginning of his journey to this high demon world, he also had a great ambition to emulate the predecessors of those travelers and become the most powerful existence in this world. But after living in this world for 6 months, he had already recognized the cruelty of reality. For someone like him who has no background, qualifications, and golden fingers, it is extremely difficult to achieve great success on the extraordinary path. Since that's the case, it's better to go home and inherit the family business and have a few comfortable days. Although the Hobbs family's family business is not large, they can inherit only the lowest baron title and a fiefdom of less than 20 square kilometers. But it's enough for him to have no worries about food and clothing, just to eat and wait for death. Thinking of this, Ren immediately made a decision in his heart. Retire and return home to inherit the family. However, retirement is not that simple. As an extraordinary legion officially supported by the Duchy of Reims, the Wild Lion Legion is not a place to come and go as you please. According to normal circumstances, a soldier needs to serve for at least 15 years or experience disabilities in their hands and feet before retiring. And Ren has only served for less than 10 years so far, obviously not meeting the retirement standards. There's no way. In order to retire and return home as soon as possible and inherit the family business, Ren can only use some special means. For example, giving gifts to superiors or something like that. After a wave of PY trading, the wealth saved by the predecessor over the years has instantly decreased by more than half. Fortunately, the retirement procedures have been successfully completed. Starting today, he officially broke away from the battle sequence of the Wild Lion Legion, transforming from a soldier to an ordinary civilian. Knowing that Ren was about to retire and return home, the soldiers who had a good relationship with Ren came to bid farewell one after another. After having a farewell meal with these comrades who had been fighting side by side for many years, Ren rode his own horse and went home. The next day, after a day and night of hard work, Ren successfully returned to the Habs family's fiefdom. Eagle Village. Perhaps due to the Warcraft attack, the atmosphere in Eagle Village is clearly a bit tense. In broad daylight, people are rarely seen on the streets of the village. Riding a warhorse. Come to the small estate located in the center of the village. Guard notification. In no time, a mature and beautiful woman walked out. It was his predecessor's biological mother Evelyn. Mother and son reunite. Evelyn is very excited. Run over at the first moment and hold Ryan tightly. My child, you have finally come back. My husband and eldest son were suddenly killed by Warcraft. All the affairs of the territory suddenly fell on her, a weak woman. If Ren doesn't come back, she really doesn't know what to do in the future. Facing a mother whose emotions are out of control. Ren repeatedly comforted and calmed his emotions. A few minutes later. Wait until Evelyn calms down. Under the arrangement of his mother Evelyn, Ren presided over the funeral of his father and brother. Let the two of them settle down. Then, in the witness of all the villagers in Xiongning village, Ren successfully inherited the title and became the ruler of this land. Just send the roster to the aristocratic court in the county town for registration in the future. The inheritance of family titles by direct relatives is that simple. As for the succession ceremonies witnessed by the king in epic stories, they are only treated by top nobles such as marquis and dukes. A lowly aristocrat like a baron, don't even think about it. After spending several days dealing with the affairs of the territory, Ren immediately prepared to start his own decadent aristocratic life of eating and waiting for death. However, 2 days later, his mother Evelyn gave him another big surprise. I directly found him a fiancé A.E. Feilu's novel, Fei Wants You to Look Good. Chapter 2. Birth of Descendants, System Activation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xiongning Village. Hobbs Manor. Mother, did you find me a fiancé A.E.? Will we get married in a few days? Ren, who was lying in the sun, widened his eyes and looked bewildered. This is too sudden. He doesn't know anything, not even who his partner is, so he's getting married. That's right. Your father and brother are both gone. If you don't hurry to get married and have children, in case of any accidents, the bloodline of our Hobbs family will be completely cut off. Evelyn's expression was very serious. This is indeed a very serious topic. From ancient times to the present, it is unknown how many nobles have disappeared from the long river of history due to their bloodline being cut off in the continent of Valen. For nobles, sowing seeds and having children is a very important mission. The more population a family has, the more stable its inheritance will be. From this perspective, it is evident that the Hobbs family has now reached its most critical moment. Ren is the only one with direct bloodline left. Upon Ren's death, the Hobbs family is almost ready to declare their expulsion. Okay. Upon hearing this, Ren's sense of rejection immediately decreased significantly. As an adult, he naturally knows that responsibilities and obligations complement each other. Since he inherited the title and fiefdom of the Hobbs family, he has an obligation to inherit and strengthen this family. Of course. Obligation belongs to obligation. If he were to marry an ugly woman, he would definitely not do it. Knowing Ren's thoughts, Evelyn smiled and gave a positive answer. The fiancée A.E. I found for you is Janice, the eldest daughter of the Rhine Knight from the neighboring territory. She is a very beautiful girl, so you can rest assured. Upon hearing this, Ren's eyes lit up, and the remaining bit of rejection disappeared completely. On the contrary, there was some anticipation. 2 days later. The wedding was held as scheduled. In order to help Ren, who had just become Baron Hobbs, integrate into the local aristocratic circle as soon as possible, Evelyn chose to run a big business. I have sent invitation letters to almost all the nobles I know nearby. Therefore, today's Hobbs family estate can be described as bustling and extraordinary. Everywhere were aristocratic guests dressed in splendid attire. Ren, dressed in formal attire, also saw his future wife Janice. As my mother said, this is a very beautiful girl. She has fair skin, a plump figure, and a head of soft golden hair. Very in line with his aesthetics. Seemingly sensing Ren's fiery gaze, Janice, dressed in a pure white dress, blushed slightly and shyly lowered her head. Next. Under the witness of numerous guests and priests of the Love God Church, Ryan and Janice successfully completed their wedding, formally becoming a newlywed couple. After the wedding is completed, the two of them completed the final step that night. A blink of an eye. 3 months have passed. During this period, Ren has been consciously cultivating feelings with his wife Janice. Although the two were a typical aristocratic political alliance. But he doesn't want his wife lying next to him, and his heart is not on him. Under Ren's hard work and management, Janice's feelings for him skyrocketed. The two of them are like glue all day now. Evelyn was also very satisfied when she saw the love between her daughter-in-law and son she had found. At the same time, constantly urging the couple to give birth quickly and continue the bloodline of the Hobbs family. Under the supervision and urging of my mother. Ren has to hand in the public grain several times a day. If it weren't for him being a third-level warrior, his stamina would be far beyond that of an ordinary person. It has long been completely squeezed dry. A month later, Janice became pregnant. Ryan, I have it. Ha ha ha. That's really great. Janice, you've worked so hard. Upon hearing this news, Ren's expression froze. Immediately, she hugged Janice with a happy face and gave her a hard kiss. Leaning against her husband's embrace, Janice caressed her belly with a happy smile on her face. The couple is happy. Evelyn, who has always been looking forward to holding her grandson, not to mention it. The Hobbs family is going to have new members. Upon hearing this news, Evelyn was even more excited than Ryan, who was about to become a father. Start preparing various items needed for pregnancy and baby as soon as possible. At the same time, she also stewed nourishing soup for Janice every day, of course. Ren is not idle either. Apart from dealing with territorial affairs on a daily basis, Ren even put aside his daily cultivation. Almost all of my time is spent with my wife. Feeling her husband's care, Janice felt very sweet in her heart. The relationship between the two became even stronger. 10 months later. Approaching the due date. In order to ensure the smooth delivery of Janice, Ren specially invited a pastor from the Life Church to deliver her wife. Although there is no scientific medical technology such as cesarean section in this high demon world. But there are even more magical and incredible magic and magic. The goddess of life worshipped by the Church of Life holds authority over life, reproduction, and other matters. The pastor under the banner possesses the fertility magic, with a 100% success rate in childbirth. She can be said to be the most powerful midwife in the world. The only drawback is that it is expensive. If you want to invite a pastor from the Church of Life to make a move, it will cost at least 50 gold coins. You should know that the annual tax revenue for the Hobbs family's fiefdom is only over 600 gold coins. Ordinary nobles really can't afford it. However, you get what you pay for. With the help of the life pastor, Janice successfully completed production in just over 10 minutes. Accompanied by a cry, Ren's first child was born. He is a very healthy boy. This is my child. Looking at the wrinkled little guy in front of him, Ren couldn't help but smile. He's become a father now. With a child connected by blood, Ren felt completely immersed in this magical world of divine manifestation. I truly feel a sense of belonging. However, next second, Ren's joyful expression suddenly changed, and a hint of inexplicable shock appeared on his face. Because he found that the weight of his fighting spirit inexplicably increased by 1/10. What's going on? Returning to his senses, Ren's first reaction was not happiness, but fear. This matter is too bizarre. Such a huge improvement in cultivation requires him to work hard for at least several years to cultivate on his own. And now I suddenly have it out of thin air. Don't figure out what's going on. He really can't even sleep well. 2 generations of people. He doesn't believe that pies will fall from the sky for no reason. Think of it here. Ren immediately prepared to activate his fighting spirit, look inside his body, and identify the source of his fighting spirit and physical enhancement. I just had this idea. A stream of information automatically came to his mind. Post-child birth detected, family system activated. Start testing offspring qualifications. Ding. This offspring has no magical ability and a low level of fighting spirit. The comprehensive evaluation is black iron level. You will receive 1 year of fighting spirit cultivation. Note: according to cultivation qualifications, the offspring rating is divided into black iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamonds. The higher the rating, the richer the rewards you will receive. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 3. Bronze level Descendants, promoted to intermediate warrior. You are listening at novel full.audio. My golden finger has appeared. Ren's face was full of surprises. After traveling for half a year, the golden finger did not appear, and he was already desperate. Whoever thought it was him who didn't find the correct way to open the system? However, it's not too late now. Returning to his senses, Ren eagerly began to explore his golden finger. A few minutes later, he then gained a comprehensive understanding of the function of his golden finger. Just one word: raw. As long as you have a child and expand your family bloodline, you can receive rewards. The better the child's qualifications, the better the rewards. The function of this golden finger is really simple and rough enough. But I like it. Ren had a smile on his face. As long as there is enough land to cultivate, giving birth to 10 or 20 children a year is not a problem. According to a child's reward of 1 year of fighting spirit cultivation, they can obtain a fighting spirit cultivation equivalent to decades of hard work. If this continues, becoming a god is just around the corner. Of course. This is in the most ideal situation. This golden finger is a beauty dog system. Only women with an appearance score of 85 or above can have children that count. With his current status and strength, having so many beautiful women is not an easy task. It seems that we can only work hard for Janice first. Ren thought to himself. In the blink of an eye. It has been 3 years since the awakening of the golden finger. Under Ren's diligent cultivation. Over the past 3 years, Janice has either been pregnant or on her way to becoming pregnant. I gave birth to 4 children in 3 years. One of them is a twin. However, I don't know if it's bad luck or his own cultivation qualifications are very rubbish. Like the first child, these 4 children's evaluations are all black iron. The 4 children provided him with a total of 4 years of fighting spirit cultivation. Including his first child, Ren's fighting spirit cultivation increased by 5 years and successfully reached the limit of a 3rd level warrior. You only need half a step to break through level 4 and become an intermediate warrior. In order to achieve a breakthrough in cultivation as soon as possible, Ren once again pulled his wife to work hard. Although she is a woman who has given birth to 5 children in a row. But Janice's body not only shows no signs of aging due to deficits. Instead, it has a more charming charm. Like a blooming rose. The reason for this is that Ren has been spending a lot of money over the years to purchase potions to nourish Janice's body. Under the healing of these potions. Even though Janice is a crazy child, her body still maintains a very healthy state. There are no health issues and no contraceptive measures have been taken. Half a month later, Janice became pregnant again. I just gave birth not long ago, and now I'm pregnant again. Ryan, it's all your fault. In the room, Janice hugged Ryan, her charming face full of displeasure. Marriage has only been a few years. She gave birth to 5 children. Who can withstand this? If it weren't for her husband's constant pleading in sweet words, she would have quit long ago. Blame me. If you don't want to give birth, then after this one birth, you won't give birth, okay? Looking at the angry and beautiful wife in his arms, Ren felt a little guilty and said gently. He is not a person with a heart of stone. If his wife really doesn't want to continue giving birth, he won't force it either. It's not that I don't want to give birth. I just want to take a break for a while. Feeling her husband's gentle tolerance towards her, Janice suddenly softened her heart. She has always remembered her husband's love for her over the years. Since her husband likes children, she just needs to have a few more. You're so kind. It's the greatest luck in my life to marry such a considerate wife like you. They will talk sweet words to coax me. Janice rolled her eyes, but there was an uncontrollable sweetness in them. Another 10 months have passed. Janice's belly is getting bigger and bigger. On the day of giving birth, a baby cry sounded from the delivery room. Ren's 6th child has been born. Detected the birth of the 6th child of the host. The offspring has a low level of magical ability and a moderate level of fighting spirit, rated as bronze level. You have obtained 10 years of fighting spirit cultivation and a 5-star battle skill. The wind sword skill. Bronze level offspring. Upon seeing this system message, Ren looked surprised. Compared to black iron level offspring, bronze level offspring have significantly higher qualifications. This can be seen from the system rewards. The Duozi cultivation reward has suddenly increased tenfold, and there is also an additional 5-star battle skill reward. You should know. In this world, the martial arts and combat skills of warriors are roughly divided into 0 to 9 stars. The higher the star level of the skill, the stronger the fighting energy power cultivated. It may even give rise to various magical abilities. And the same goes for combat skills. A star-rated combat skill can greatly enhance the warrior's combat effectiveness, excluding interference from other factors. A warrior who masters 1-star battle skill can almost sweep other warriors who have not mastered the battle skill on a 1.1 basis. It can be said that advanced martial arts and combat techniques represent powerful military force and are the cornerstone of a family and even a kingdom's prosperity. That's right. In order to maintain their own rule, the rulers of this world have strict control over these extraordinary knowledge. As a noble baron, the highest level of combat skills within the Hobbs family is only 3 stars. It can be seen from this how precious this 5-star combat skill is. As a viscount, and even the Earl family's inherited combat skills are more than enough. This wave takes off. Returning to his senses, Ren quickly chose to accept the reward. Next second, the memory information about the swift sword technique was integrated into his brain and quickly integrated. It's as if he has practiced countless times himself. Besides that, the source of his fighting spirit is also rapidly growing. In this process, the purity of the source of Duozi is also constantly improving. 4th order. 5th level. 6th level. After 10 years of cultivation and digestion, Ren's knight rank directly reached level 6. Mid-level warrior peak. You only need one step to be promoted to a senior warrior. Compared to low-level warriors, the biggest difference between intermediate warriors is that their fighting spirit is sufficiently condensed, which can maintain their killing power after leaving the body, greatly increasing their attack range. Thinking of this, Ren's eyes narrowed slightly and he immediately couldn't wait to try. Extend the index and middle fingers of your right hand to activate your internal energy. A yellow energy stream shot out from the fingertips, directly piercing through a small hole about 10 centimeters deep in the stone wall ahead. The killing power is comparable to armor-piercing bullets from previous lives. Indeed, the strength of intermediate warriors is far beyond that of lower-level warriors. Upon seeing this scene, Ren nodded in satisfaction. My cultivation has been continuously promoted to 3 levels, plus my newly acquired 5-star battle skill, the wind sword skill. In a short period of time, his strength skyrocketed by more than 10 times. It's not a problem to instantly kill oneself a minute ago with just one sword. Goldfinger YYDS. Feeling the powerful force surging within his body, Ren wished he could immediately have another 180 children. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 4. Family development and opening a brewery. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the room. Janice has given birth to a child. Evelyn instructed the maids to clean up all the filth. That's when Ren was allowed in. After entering the door, Ren saw Janice, who had just finished production, lying in bed resting. The once rosy pretty face is now pale. Obviously, giving birth has lost a lot of vitality. Janice, it's really hard on you. Seeing his wife like this, Ren couldn't help but show a hint of heartache in his eyes. No hard work. Feeling her husband's concern, Janice's heart warmed. The two of them had a romantic conversation for a while. Later, Ren turned his head to carefully examine the newborn child. This baby is a girl. It has to be said. Bronze-level offspring are extraordinary. Generally speaking, children grow up in the uterus and amniotic fluid, and their bodies are wrinkled after birth. Just like a little old man. It takes some time to recover to normal. However, his little daughter is different. Even though just born, my skin is still smooth and fair all over. The little face was even whiter and redder. It looks very cute. Woo-woo. Looking at this jade-carved little guy, Ren couldn't help but extend his hand to tease him. And this little guy is also very face-saving. Dancing around, grabbing Ren's hand and laughing happily. Watching the intimate interaction between the father and daughter, Janice's pale and pretty face couldn't help but show a warm smile. Then, as if thinking of something, he spoke up and said, "Ryan, you haven't named our daughter yet. Just call it Hilda. Hilda Hobbs." After a moment of contemplation, Ren spoke up. Hilda is a given name, and Hobbs is a family surname. The reason for choosing a name is also very simple. According to the system's detection, this little guy's fighting spirit talent has reached medium level. At least several times stronger than his old father. I will definitely become a powerful female swordsman in the future. And the name Hilda itself means combat, female warrior. Choosing this name is just right. Seemingly sensing his father's expectations of him, Hilda, the little one, suddenly laughed even brighter. A blink of an eye. Several months have passed again. Perhaps it is due to the need for more nutrition to conceive bronze-grade offspring. The physical deficit caused by Janice giving birth this time is obviously much more serious than the previous few times. In order to help his wife recover as soon as possible without any sequelae, Ren specifically spent half a year of his territory's income to purchase a bottle of advanced nourishing magic potion. This large expenditure of several hundred gold coins instantly made the family's funds somewhat tense. There's no way. Ren can only go to the forest near his territory to hunt warcraft in his leisure time. Subsidize household expenses. With the cultivation of a 6th-level warrior and the 5-star battle skill of the wind sword, those low-level monsters on the outskirts of the forest are not his opponents at all. Easy and effortless, one move instantly kills. Half a month. Ren hunted 3 wind wolves, 4 water arrow rabbits, and 5 ground stingers. Although these are low-level warcraft of level 1.3. But no matter what, it is still a serious and extraordinary creature. Fur, bones, flesh and blood, and magic cores are all valuable. Selling a dozen or so gold coins is not a problem. By selling all these prey to merchants, Ren easily earned over 100 gold coins. Taste the sweetness. Ren became even more passionate about the game of warcraft hunting. In addition to taking care of the children and accompanying the wife, I also go around the forest every day to try my luck. The days can be quite fulfilling. 1 year later. Due to his wife's strong protest, Ryan needs to take protective measures every time he gets intimate during this period. Without the birth of a new child, the system rewards will naturally disappear. Therefore, Ren's current cultivation and strength have not made much progress compared to a year ago. However, Ren hasn't been idle for the past year either. Relying on the distillation knowledge brought by his past life, he entered the beverage industry and established a brewery in his territory of Xiongning village. Low price, unique flavor, and appropriate promotion. Beer quickly became popular in the surrounding towns. Not only does it drive the prosperity and development of the territory, but it also advances day by day. In less than a year, the assets of the Hobbs family have doubled several times. Of course. Such a profitable business. It is obvious that the Hobbs family, which is only a baron, cannot monopolize it. In order to quickly open up sales channels, Ren handed over the beer sales rights to the powerful aristocrats in the surrounding towns. Build an alliance of interests. With this alliance of interests, the power and influence of the Hobbs family have significantly increased. It is no longer a small transparency in the local aristocratic circle. In addition to strengthening the family, Ren also didn't forget to prepare for the next child. After all, the reward for giving birth to bronze-level offspring last time was given by the system, which allowed him to have a qualitative leap in strength. Know your husband's thoughts. Janice, who has been resting for over a year, is not averse to having children. Be prepared for pregnancy. After working hard for several months, the two of them. Janice is pregnant again. To increase the chances of giving birth to highly qualified children, Ren began to spend a lot of money on various advanced magic medicines that nourish the body and fetus, and in various ways, provided his wife with nourishment. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 5. Conquering the Flame Demon Tiger. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time flies by. In a blink of an eye, half a year has passed again. As time passed, Janice's belly grew bigger and bigger. Ren accompanies his wife and teases the children every day. I spent my childhood quite leisurely and carefree. However, this peaceful life was soon shattered. This afternoon, a hunter accidentally discovered the lair of a high-level monster, the Flame Demon Tiger, in the forest east of Eagle Village. After the news spread, the entire Xiongning village was in a state of panic. After all, it is not uncommon for Warcraft to destroy a certain village on the continent of Roland. Everyone is afraid that the Flame Demon Tiger will attack the village and hunt for humans. This panic has even greatly affected the operation and production of Xiongning village. We must resolve this matter as soon as possible. Upon learning this, Ren suddenly had a decision in his heart. Don't deal with this advanced Warcraft that ran to settle down near Xiongning village. Eagle Village is constantly at risk of being attacked by Warcraft. There is no security guarantee. Outside merchants dare not come to do business. The villagers also run away. He doesn't want the family territory that has finally developed to become depressed due to this Warcraft. The only thing he can do is to take down this Flame Demon Tiger. Minimize the negative impact of this matter. However, killing this Flame Demon Tiger is obviously not an easy task. As a high-level demon beast with fire attributes, the Flame Demon Tiger masters numerous fire magic and has strong hand-to-hand combat abilities. Extremely strong combat effectiveness. As long as one reaches adulthood, they possess terrifying strength comparable to that of a high-level knight, 7th level. With Ren's 6th level strength. Even if one masters a highly lethal 5-star battle skill, it is difficult to defeat this Flame Demon Tiger alone. Even if we can win, it is likely a disastrous victory for both parties. It seems that we need to find some helpers. Ryan's eyes lit up and he immediately took action. Ask the butler to go to the Adventurers Association to release relevant tasks. In order to ensure that this mission was taken over as soon as possible, he directly offered a high reward of 5,000 gold coins for this expedition mission. Interest moves people's hearts. It has to be said. This move is very effective. Within 2 days, a team of adventurers named Bauhinia Flower took on this mission. Upon hearing this good news, Ren immediately received these adventurers at his own estate. Hobbs Manor, Reception Hall. I have seen Lord Baron. Seeing Ren appear, all members of the adventurer team stood up one after another. Although their strength is quite good. But ultimately, their identity is just an ordinary commoner. For nobles, it is still necessary to maintain necessary respect. Don't be too polite, everyone. Ren waved his hand. Have a simple conversation. Ren also has a basic understanding of this adventurer team. The captain is a heroic female half-elf named Freyna, with a strength of level 6 and a profession of magic archer. The vice-captain is a muscular woman named Ada, with a strength of level 6 and a profession of shield warrior. The other 3 team members are all female. A warrior, a therapist, and a hunter, with only level 5 strength. It has to be said that this all-female adventure team has very strong strength. The combination of various professions is also very reasonable. Enemy search, front row, melee, ranged, and healing are all complete. With the help of such an adventure team, Ren is also full of confidence in the fight against the Flame Demon Tiger. Discuss mission-related matters with these adventurers. Ren asked the butler to take these people down to rest. It's getting late today. The sun is about to set. It's too dangerous to go deep into the dense forest at this time. Visually dim, even things are difficult to see clearly. It would be better to set off tomorrow morning to attack that flame demon tiger. Settle down those adventurers who have come from afar. Ren returned to his room. On the other side. In the room arranged by Ren. Freyna and others are exchanging today's observations. That Baron Ren is going with us tomorrow to fight against the Flame Demon Tiger. I don't know how strong he is, but I hope he won't hold us back. The female warrior Kara spoke up. This Baron Ren is delicate and tender, and at first glance, he is accustomed to being pampered. His strength is probably not very good. Vice Captain Ada spoke frankly. Everyone still needs to be mentally prepared. When fighting against the Flame Demon Tiger tomorrow, remember to protect the safety of this employer. Captain Freyna said calmly. Take people's money and help them alleviate disasters. Since taking on this lucrative task, it is natural to meet the needs of the employer. She was already mentally prepared. After reaching a consensus, 5 women discuss how to protect their employers tomorrow. Afterwards, they each return to their rooms to rest. The next day. Early morning. Ren and all members of the Bauhinia team have finished washing up. Ready to go. After everything is ready. Under the guidance of the hunter who discovered the lair of the Flame Demon Tiger. Ren and the Bauhinia adventure team walked towards the forest to the east of Eagle Village. After entering the dense forest, the expressions of the crowd clearly became wary. Especially for the members of the Bauhinia adventure team, they quickly formed a formation. As the shield warrior of the vice-captain, Ada carried a giant shield and walked ahead. Female hunters and female therapists are in the center. As the captain of the remote output, Freyna led the female warrior and walked at the back with Ren. I walked like this for 20 minutes. 10 kilometers into the dense forest, Ren and others quickly discovered the trail of the Flame Demon Tiger. Trees burned to ashes. The hair on the ground was like flames. All kinds of signs indicate that the area ahead is where the Flame Demon Tiger is frequently active. The statement of the guide hunter also confirms this point. The Flame Demon Tiger's nest is located in a small hill ahead. Everyone is always ready for battle. Stepping into the activity area of the Flame Demon Tiger, Freyna clenched her bow and arrow and reminded everyone. After all, the Flame Demon Tiger is not an ordinary warcraft. Very powerful. If not handled carefully, there is a high possibility of paying the price of one's life. She doesn't want her employer who pays her to be killed by warcraft. I don't want my teammates who spend time with each other in my team to experience layoffs. Understood. Understanding Freina's kindness, everyone increased their vigilance. I dare not put down the weapon in my hand for a moment. To prevent being caught off guard by the fire demon tiger that may appear at an unknown time. I walked another kilometer. Ren, who had been walking silently, suddenly had a movement in his ear. As if sensing something. A change in face. Surrounding the semi-elf girl Freina next to her with her left hand, her body suddenly retreated backwards. At the same time, pull out the big sword with your right hand and use your combat skills. Fast wind sword technique. Storm slash. P.S. New book set sale, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking monthly tickets, seeking all data. As long as the data is good, the author will update the explosive liver. May I ask for the great support of all book enthusiasts. Feilu's novel, Fei Wants You to Look Good. Chapter 6. Mutant subspecies, shy half-elf girl. You are listening at novel full.audio. Swift wind sword technique. Storm slash. Ren wielded a large sword and swung it downwards. Next second. Woo. 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 Countless crescent-shaped blue sword chi roared, like a storm, and it was crazy to strangle the giant tree crown at the right rear. For Ren's sudden and unforeseeable action, everyone was confused. I didn't wait for everyone to react. Under the attack of storm sword chi, a 5-meter-long giant tiger on the crown of the giant tree suddenly revealed its true form out of thin air. He is covered in dark red hair, with a crown on his head and a foot pedal accompanied by flames. It looks very powerful and domineering. This warcraft is undoubtedly the target of Ren and others on this trip. The Flame Demon Tiger. Roar. Storm sword energy, unparalleled sharpness. The cutting force is extremely strong. Caught off guard and hit like this. Even the Flame Demon Tiger, as a high-level warcraft, is somewhat unbearable. Screaming incessantly. However, it is obviously impossible to kill it with one blow. Forcefully enduring the excruciating pain, the Flame Demon Tiger activated the wind magic. Invisibility technique, and once again disappeared in front of everyone. It's a long story to say. In fact, the entire process will not exceed 2 seconds. Seeing this scene, everyone was frightened into a cold sweat. It's too dangerous. Who would have thought that the Flame Demon Tiger could possess the invisibility magic of the wind attribute, and even lurk in the tree with extreme cunning, holding its ground. Attempting to launch a surprise attack from behind. If Ren hadn't found any trace of the Flame Demon Tiger just now, Freina and others walking at the back would have been in danger. How could this Flame Demon Tiger possibly possess wind-based invisibility magic? Returning to her senses, the female hunter of the Bauhinia adventure team, Lifa, had a face full of shock and confusion. According to the Warcraft illustrated by the Adventurers Association, the Flame Demon Tiger does not have the wind attribute. In theory, it should be impossible to comprehend invisibility magic. This Flame Demon Tiger should have consumed some kind of wind attribute extraordinary plant and mutated into a wind-fire demon tiger. Ren cautiously scanned the surroundings while casually answering. As a very rare variant subspecies. The wind-fire demon tiger has both wind and fire attributes, and its strength is much stronger than ordinary flame demon tigers. It seems that a fierce battle is about to take place later. Wind and Fire Demon Tiger. Knowing the details of this warcraft, everyone suddenly felt a sense of crisis in their hearts. Immediately form a defensive formation back. Be prepared for the ambush of the Flame Demon Tiger in stealth mode. Thank you for saving me. Half-elf girl Freina blushed and said gratefully. She originally thought Ryan was a drag on her luck. Unexpectedly, I was saved by the dragging oil bottle. If it weren't for Ren's timely intervention, her archer would have been approached by the Wind and Fire Demon Tiger, and the consequences would have been unimaginable. It's frightening to think about it. It's nothing. Ren said nonchalantly. So. Can you let go of that? Freyna's pointed ears turned red and she stuttered. She is still being held in Ryan's arms. And due to the height difference, Ren's arm was directly pressed against the sensitive area in front of her. The strange friction made her feel hot all over. Oh. I'm sorry. Upon realizing this, Ren awkwardly released his hand. I'm too busy guarding against wind, fire, and evil tigers. He really didn't notice that his hand was in such an awkward position. It's okay. Leaving Ren's secure embrace, Freyna breathed a sigh of relief. But I don't know what's going on, but I feel a bit lost in my heart. Because of this little episode. The atmosphere between the two became somewhat strange. Fortunately. At this moment, someone spoke up to break the awkwardness between the two. Lord Ren, how did you judge the invisibility of the wind-fire demon tiger before? Do you have any special skills? Can you do it again? The female therapist Betty spoke up. After the wind and fire demon tigers regained their invisibility, they couldn't find any trace at all. Staying deadlocked like this is not a solution. No special skills. It's just that my perception is more sensitive. Now that wind and fire demon tiger is not close to my surroundings, and I can't lock its position either. Ren said helplessly. Due to his acquisition of the wind sword technique, he is able to perceive changes in the surrounding airflow. But limited by strength, the scope is currently not very large. It's only about 10 meters. That wind and fire demon tiger was previously subjected to his storm slash. Having suffered such a big loss, I absolutely dare not approach him again easily now. In this situation, he also couldn't repeat the old trick, relying on the flow of chi to detect the invisibility of the wind, fire, and demon tiger. What should we do then? Upon hearing this, everyone's faces were not very attractive. After all, if only 1,000 days are a thief, then there is 1,000 days to guard against thieves. Now everyone remains highly vigilant and their nerves are tense. But as time goes on, the state will definitely decline rapidly. When the time comes, if the wind and fire demon tiger launches another attack, it will be dangerous. Lead a snake out of a hole. Advanced warcraft usually have a very strong sense of revenge. After suffering such a big loss in my hands, that wind and fire demon tiger will definitely not give up easily. We intentionally exposed our flaws to lure the wind and fire demon tiger to take the initiative to take the bait. Ren explained the method he had come up with. This method is good. Everyone nodded in unison as their eyes lit up. Next, Ren began to assign tasks. After what happened just now, the members of the Bauhinia adventure team have all changed their minds about Ryan. No one thinks that Ren is a dragging oil bottle anymore. Everyone is very convinced of Ryan. However, Ren's method has a difficulty. To make the cunning wind and fire demon tiger appear, someone must act as a bait. This task is very dangerous. If possible, Ryan will definitely do it himself. But his attack just now caused considerable trauma to the wind-fire demon tiger. As long as that wind and fire demon tiger has some brain, it will definitely not choose him as the first target for attack. Others are also aware of this. The deputy captain of the final adventure team, Ada, took the initiative to take on the bait mission. As a shield warrior, she has a strong confidence in her defensive abilities. Even when facing attacks from wind, fire, and evil tigers, I won't suffer too much damage for a while. After finalizing their respective tasks, everyone immediately put down their swords. Put on a relaxed look. Ada put down her shield and left the team. Take big strides forward. 10 meters. 20 meters. 30 meters. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 7. Advanced Fire Magic. Fire Rain Meteor. You are listening at novel full.audio. 10 meters. 20 meters. 30 meters. When Ada is over 100 meters away from the team. The wind and fire demon tiger, which was secretly peeping, couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. Roar, quietly approaching Ada, the wind-fire demon tiger directly activated a wind magic. Acceleration technique. Then, he quickly pounced towards Ada. Just now, these despicable humans suffered losses, and it must retaliate back. Killing the woman who left the team is the first step in its revenge. I'm hooked. Feeling the strong wind coming from behind, Ada, who appeared relaxed on the surface but was actually alert, reacted very quickly. Turn around and lift your shield as soon as possible, activate your fighting spirit, and use your strongest defense skills. 2-star combat technique. Resilient shield wall. Next second. The semi-transparent earthy yellow energy shield is derived out of thin air, firmly enveloping Ada. However, the wind and fire demon tiger's powerful attack is obviously not easy to pick up. The combination of massive body size and acceleration technique. The impact power is comparable to heavy artillery. The moment of collision. The energy shield wall shattered in response to the sound within 2 seconds. Ada was knocked over 10 meters away by the wind and fire demon tiger. However, fortunately, with the resilient shield wall skill buffering a wave, the power of this strike dissipated by half. Ada did not suffer too severe injuries. Quickly get up from the ground. Ada immediately followed the plan, put on a defensive posture, and then threw a mocking skill at the wind and fire demon tiger. Roar. It has to be said that this skill has outstanding effects. The wind and fire demon tiger, who had originally failed a single attack and planned to sneak in again, was suddenly ignited with anger in his heart. Fireball technique. Wind blade art. Burst fireball. The wind and fire demon tiger unleashed all his abilities and launched a fierce bombardment on Ada. And Ada uses various shield combat skills for defense. Hurry up for teammates to delay time. However, Ada underestimated the attack strength of this wind and fire demon tiger. Roar. Discovering that this annoying little bug never died under its own attack, the wind and fire demon tiger did not hesitate to use its trump card. Next second. A blue fireball with a diameter of 10 meters and emitting terrifying high temperatures condensed from the top of the wind-fire demon tiger head. Roaring towards Ada. As an advanced magic of burst fireball, the power of flame explosion is more than 10 times that of burst fireball. Wherever it passed, the terrifying high temperature almost turned everything into ashes. If hit head-on, Ada would definitely not be able to withstand it. Even with the use of the resilient shield wall as a defensive skill, it will instantly melt. There is no ashes left. At this moment, Ren and others have arrived. The discovery of Ada as a bait is in imminent danger. Ren runs his fighting spirit and uses the explosive acceleration technique from the wind sword technique. Like a gust of wind, rushing towards Ada. Then, from bottom to top, wielding the large sword in hand, a highly cohesive giant wind wall is formed. Wind sword technique. Wind wall barrier. The moment when the wind wall is condensed. The scorching fireball emitting astonishing high temperature collided with it. However, it's useless. The strong and rapid wind immediately blew it away and shifted it to a nearby open space. Boom. It's like a small missile exploding. A large pit appeared on the ground, several meters deep and 20 meters wide. The raging flames instantly turned the surroundings into a scorched earth. Without any hesitation. Death. After blocking the blow for Ada, Ren immediately charged towards the wind and fire demon tiger. The giant sword in hand lingers in the fierce wind, directly taking the head of the wind-fire demon tiger. Fast wind sword technique. Whirlwind slash. Ren's blow was fast and fierce. The wind and fire demon tiger, who had just used his ultimate move, was struck without any reaction. If it weren't for instinctively tilting my head, I'm afraid the entire tiger head will be chopped off with one sword. However, even if you're lucky enough not to die, wind, fire, and demon tigers have also been heavily affected. There is an additional bone-deep sword mark on the right head. Blood spurts out like no money. Roar. Let out a painful roar. At this moment, the wind and fire demon tiger is also stimulated with ferocity. Open your big mouth and bite Ren. Fast wind step. Ren dare not force himself. A dodge the attack. After backhand circling, another sword struck the waist of the wind and fire demon tiger. It has to be said. Warcraft, especially advanced Warcraft, have a truly tenacious physique. Despite being hit so hard one after another, they still thrive. Extremely fierce. Just as Ren was fighting against the wind and fire demon tiger, Freyna and others have also arrived. Join the battle one after another to contain and harass the wind, fire, and demon tiger. Create fighter jets for Ren. With the tacit cooperation of everyone, the injuries on the wind and fire demon tiger are increasing. The breath became increasingly lethargic. Feeling the threat of death approaching, the tiger's eyes, the size of a copper bell, flashed with a hint of madness. Squeeze out all the magic in your body and use advanced fire magic. Fire Rain Meteor. The majestic magic surged, forming a huge fire cloud with a diameter of 100 meters above the head of the wind-fire demon tiger. Next second, large fireballs coalesce from the fire cloud. Like a shooting star falling down. Faced with such a fierce counterattack from the wind and fire demon tiger, Ren and others were also caught off guard. I was also in a hurry for a while. However, fortunately, the wind and fire demon tiger has little control over it as it uses magic to advance beyond its level. Most meteors fall into the sky. Ren and others took turns defending the remaining fireballs. Finally managed to barely hold on. 1 minute later, the fire cloud dissipated. Ren and others, who had been bombed to ashes, breathed a sigh of relief. Overcoming the final wave of wind and fire, the demon tiger fought back before death. The rest of the matter is simple. The wind and fire demon tiger, which has exhausted its magic, no longer has much power. Ren rushed over and effortlessly chopped off the head of the wind-fire demon tiger with a sword. Wind, fire, demon tiger, conquest successful. Finally dead. Seeing this scene, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. After blocking the firestorm meteor magic, their state had already deteriorated to the extreme. If this wind and fire demon tiger doesn't die anymore, they really won't be able to withstand it. The battle is over. Please briefly handle the injuries on your body. Subsequently, happily dismembered the body of the wind and fire demon tiger. As a mutated advanced Warcraft, wind and fire demon tigers are all treasures. Magic cores, fur, and even blood are all valuable. Spend 10 minutes cutting all the valuable parts of the wind-fire demon tiger's body. Later, I went to the wind and fire demon tiger nest again and took away all the valuable things inside. After cleaning up the spoils of war, Ren and others embarked on their journey home with a joyful mood. Feilu's novel, Fei Wants You to Look Good. Chapter 8. Prestige Enhancement and Settlement of Remuneration. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Return to Eagle Village. Ren immediately summoned the villagers to explain the news that the wind and fire demon tiger stationed near the village had been killed by him. Great! Long live Baron Ren! Looking at the bloody giant tiger head in Ren's hand, all the villagers showed excitement on their faces and cheered loudly. Great! This terrifying monster has finally died. In the future, everyone can live with peace of mind and not be afraid of being attacked by Warcraft. In an instant. The village, which has been in a state of anxiety for the past few days, has completely settled down. Restored the previous calm. The brewery can also operate smoothly. Thanks to this matter. Ren's reputation within the territory has greatly increased. Even fame has spread to the surrounding towns. Of course. This is all for later discussion. After announcing the successful campaign against the wind and fire demon tiger, Ren returned to the family estate with Freyna and others. Prepared to hand over the previously agreed upon task rewards to Freyna and others. Due to the target of this campaign being the wind and fire demon tiger, which exceeded expectations in strength, Ren deliberately increased his reward by 40%. Thanks to the help of your Bauhinia adventure team for this task. This is a token of my heart. Please keep it. Ren handed a small box to Freyna and others, and smiled as he spoke. Open the box. The dense gold coins lay quietly inside the box, emitting a dazzling golden light. It looks quite stunning. Thank you very much, Lord Ren. Seeing such generous task rewards, Freyna and others were filled with joy on their faces. I took a simple inventory. A few people were a bit dumbfounded. Because they found that this box of gold coins was somewhat unexpected. The originally agreed upon task reward was 5,000 gold coins. There are 7,000 gold coins inside. Lord Ren, did you take the wrong one? Freyna asked Ren with a puzzled expression on her face. The same goes for other members of the Bauhinia adventure team. I didn't make a mistake. The actual situation of this task is much more difficult than the task content I previously posted. This is the reward you deserve. Ren waved his hand and smiled as he spoke. But what else does Freyna want to say? In her opinion, even though the difficulty of the task has increased significantly, the credit for one's own team is far less than what Ren claimed. After all, the person who made the greatest contribution to this mission is Ren. Whether it's discovering the wind and fire demon tiger, devising a hunting plan, or the subsequent battles, Ren is the main force. They are just helping to provide assistance. She felt guilty for receiving so much compensation. It's nothing, but there's never a reason to get the money I gave back. And without your help, it's impossible for me alone to kill the wind-fire demon tiger. Ren interrupted Freyna's words and spoke very seriously. Say it. Before Freyna could refuse, Ren left straight away. See here. Freyna and others had no choice but to accept this exceptionally generous task. Later, Ren instructed the butler to arrange accommodation for Freyna and others. I want them to rest well in the estate. After all, this campaign resulted in several people suffering significant injuries. Especially for the female shield battle Ada, who was used as bait, several bones were broken and her internal organs were shaken and bleeding. Even if therapist Betty helps with the treatment, it will take over half a month to fully recover. However, I just took so much money, and Freyna and others are too embarrassed to continue accepting Ren's kindness. Just wash up in the manor and leave directly. After leaving Hobbs Manor, the Bauhinia adventure team rode in a rented carriage to the city of Cartier, 100 kilometers away. That city is their permanent residence and also their home. The industries they purchased are all there. This Baron Ren is really generous. The female hunter Lifa looked at the small box filled with gold coins in her hand, her face full of intoxication. As a small financial fanatic, she has no resistance to the golden coins. Indeed generous. Everyone nodded in agreement. They have been working on tasks for so many years, and this is the first time they have encountered an employer who pays a lot of money and is happy. The task encountered an accident and the difficulty increased. Not every employer will make up for the price difference. Even if there is a subsidy, the maximum amount will be an additional 10% on top of the original salary. Not like Ryan, just add 40% directly. The rewards received from this wave of tasks almost exceeded their previous busy work for half a year. That Baron Ren is willing to give so much compensation, he must be even richer. Handsome, powerful, and wealthy, he is truly a perfect man. If only I could. Speaking of which, the female hunter Lifa didn't know what was on her mind, and her pretty face couldn't help but show a hint of shyness. This slutty hoof is missing spring. All sisters have agreed to spend their lives together for so many years. Now Lifa wants to be a baroness. What a traitor. That's it. Seeing Lifa's appearance, the women couldn't help but start joking. Various tiger and wolf words keep bouncing out. Lifa's face turned red and her ears turned red. Listen to the sisters' laughter. The half-elf girl Freyna next to her inexplicably remembered the scene when Ren saved her before. That secure embrace made her feel intoxicated. The unintentional intimate touch still makes her blush and heartbeat uncontrollably when she recalls it. I won't like that guy anymore, will I? Feeling her unusual emotions, Freyna was in a state of confusion and stared blankly at the direction of Eagle Village, lost in thought. Feilu's novel, Fei Wants You to Look Good. Chapter 9. The Border War Begins, a good opportunity to raise titles. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I don't know about the discussion of the Bauhinia adventure team about myself. At this point, Ren is speaking with his wife. Ren, you're back. Did you get hurt during this battle against Warcraft? Janice's pretty face was full of concern. This time when her husband went out to fight against Warcraft, she was very worried. If it weren't for Ren's insistence on going, she would definitely not have agreed to her husband's adventure. Of course not. Ren pretended to be unscathed and spoke. He doesn't want Janice to worry. This is not beneficial for either Janice or the child in her belly. In order to prevent his wife from discovering something wrong, Ryan did not discuss this topic much. Quickly shift the topic. Tell half the truth about your experience of defeating Warcraft this time. Janice, who has never traveled far, is also very interested in this adventure story. Lying on Ren's chest, quietly listening. The two of them are stuck together. A day passed quickly. After defeating the wind and fire demon tiger, Ren's life resumed its previous rhythm. Playing with children and accompanying wives every day. Go hunting in the forests around the territory when you have nothing to do. Life is very comfortable. As for territorial development, Ren has already set up the framework. As time goes by, Xiongning Brewery becomes increasingly well-known and its shipment volume is also increasing. Prosperous trade. Attracting a large amount of passenger flow. The local villagers are gradually becoming prosperous. Thanks to this, more and more free people have come to settle in Xiongning Village. The population of Xiongning Village has increased from over 4,000 to over 7,000. And it also maintains a high speed growth state. It is expected that by mid-next year, Xiongning Village will be called Xiongning Town. Of course, Ren has a way to accelerate this process. Those knowledge brought by past lives can be easily obtained to add some pillar industries to Xiongning Village. But it's really not necessary. In this high demon world, interests require corresponding strength to be maintained. Without strength, create too many good things. Not only can it not eat meat, but it can also cause trouble. He naturally wouldn't do such a foolish thing. The most important thing for him now is to take care of his wife's health and ensure that the child can be born smoothly. Day by day passed. Janice is getting closer and closer to her delivery date. Just as the Ren family was preparing to welcome the birth of a new little life, 3 aristocratic family leaders suddenly visited Xiongning Village with more than 10 guards. These 3 noble family heads are Cartier, from the Baron Blake family. Igor, from the Baron Yak family. Cinderella, from the Merc Baron family. These 3 families are an alliance of interests with the Hobbs family, working together to sell beer. The relationship is very good. A group of people rode horses into Xiongning village. The development of the Hobbs territory is really fast. Looking at the scene before her, Cartier couldn't help but feel emotional. The changes in Xiongning village have been too significant. Half a year ago, he visited Xiongning village for the sake of beer sales rights. At that time, Xiongning village was filled with thatched and wooden houses everywhere, and the roads were all dirt roads. It's just a poor ordinary mountain village. And now, those dilapidated thatched and wooden houses have all disappeared and become more sturdy and beautiful stone houses. The uneven dirt road has also been replaced by a flat bluestone road. Various basic facilities such as public toilets and commercial streets are fully equipped. Small vendors selling goods are everywhere on both sides of the street. A large number of villagers shuttled through it. A scene of prosperity. If it weren't for his certainty that this was Xiongning village, he would have thought he had gone to the wrong place. Don't sigh. Let's visit Baron Ren first. Igor spoke calmly. Upon hearing this, Cartier and Cinderella did not object either. They are not here for fun this time. Come to Hobbs Manor. 3 people presented their bowing cards. The butler dared not neglect and quickly led the 3 of them to the reception hall. Then, he ran to inform Ren. A few minutes later. Ryan has come over. Baron Igor, Baron Cartier, Baron Cinderella, what's the reason for your sudden visit? Facing the sudden visit of 3 aristocratic family heads, Ren was very surprised. Baron Ren, we have important matters to discuss with you during our visit. Igor spoke solemnly. What's going on? Ren asked curiously. I wonder if Baron Ren has heard of the news of the upcoming border war. Without direct explanation, Igor mentioned another thing. Border war is about to start. Ren frowned slightly. He is not sure about this. Recently, his wife Janice is about to give birth, and his attention is all focused on it. I haven't attended many gatherings in the local aristocratic circle, so the news is naturally quite closed. That's right. 2 months ago, a super-large fine iron ore was discovered on the western border, and both our Duchy of Reims and neighboring Duchy of Chirac believe that the ore vein belongs to our own side. The border situation is very severe now. It is said that His Majesty the King is ready to go to war with the Duchy of Chirac. Seeing that Ren was still unclear about this matter, Cinderella, the head of the Merc Baron family, explained. Does this have anything to do with us? Upon hearing this, Ren became even more puzzled. He doesn't understand how many people mention this matter and what they are trying to express. What is the relationship between the Western Border War and the small aristocrats whose territories are located in the southern region? Unless it's a war of annihilation on the western border. Otherwise, this war would not have affected them at all. This war is a good opportunity. We are here to invite Baron Ren to cooperate with us and participate in this war. By gathering the armed forces of our 4 families, we are sure to achieve good results in this war. Our titles can also take this opportunity to further advance and obtain larger fiefs. Igor said excitedly. Cartier and Cinderella are also like this. Hear this. Ryan fully understands. However, he was not moved by the beautiful blueprint described by Igor. As a former soldier of the brave Lion Knights, he was well aware of the cruelty and danger of war. This is a ruthless meat grinder that devours countless lives. Especially in such large-scale wars between countries. The armed strength of their 4 noble barons is completely insignificant. One bad luck is the complete annihilation of the army. This level of war is too dangerous, I cannot agree to this cooperation. At this thought, Ren immediately shook his head and politely declined. With golden fingers, his future is infinitely vast. There is no need to go to the battlefield to fight for wealth and prosperity. Feilu's novel, Fei wants you to look good.